hand you over to the delightful Daniella Blecher.
Am I singing or was it?
Don't it seem like I'm always there when it matters, but missing most of the other time, a terrible pattern. The rewards I see from working have made me an addict.
How's everyone doing tonight?
People that want it and people that
That was absolutely Robert. Thank you for that very nice introduction, and thank you so much for pronouncing my name correctly. I get all sorts, Bleacher, Belcher, everything. So thank you. Okay. Let's wait for PowerPoint. I did have some notes written down, but I've left them all in the hotel, so I'm actually just going to speak from the heart. Because I feel that if we're connecting and we're talking about our stories, that's the best way to go. Not because I've any means of the fact that I've left them in the hotel. Hey, never mind. Someone great once said, there is no greater agony than bearing an untold story inside of you. Is anyone familiar with this quote? Can anyone tell me? I feel like I'm in teacher mode now. Can anyone tell me who said this? Oh, I can hear some mutterings on the table. Give us a clue. She is a doctor. Yes, that's it. This is a quote from the late, great Dr. Maya Angelou. He was a selective mute for 5 years after experiencing trauma that would have broken many. How many of us are bearing untold, unborn stories inside? How many of us are waiting for the green light from gatekeepers in order for us to share our story and message with the world? I want to first of all say thank you, Rita, for inviting me to speak, but I also want to congratulate all the authors who are launching their books today. Can we give them a massive round of applause? Because what you're doing is you're sharing your story, your message with the world. And this is everything that I represent, sharing our stories, connecting with each other. We can learn so much from each other. So today, I'm going to talk to you about the power of your story. My name is Daniella Blecher. I'm a best-selling author. It feels great to say that. There was a time when I thought, I didn't even think I could say I'm an author. But the fact is I can now say I'm a best-selling author. I'm a book journey mentor and founder of a company called Conscious Dreams Publishing. But before I share with you my story, I just want to ask 3 questions. Can I ask you 3 questions? Mm-hmm. Okay, brilliant. Do you have a story or message to share with the world? Yeah. Can I just see a show of hands? Do you have a story or message to share with the world? Wow, awesome. Do you have a story or message that could positively impact others? Okay, wow. Who wants to be a bestseller? Okay, guys, I just want to check that I'm at the right event and I'm talking to the right people. That's fantastic. Everyone has a unique journey, a message, a story, a purpose, one that can greatly benefit others. No one can ever quite experience your journey the way you have. No one can ever experience your life or tell your story the way you can. Your story is powerful. Your story can be the story that connects with the very person, even if it's just that one person. Your story can be the story that connects with that very one person who needs to hear your words. I believe that there are so many stories that are lost because people didn't take action. I loved doing a bit of research. I did a bit of research. And did you know, according to the Huffington Post, 84% of people want to publish a book. So guess what percentage of that 84% actually go on to fulfill their dream? 10%? 5? Oh, 5. I feel like I'm at a sort of like bingo or auction right now, but yeah. 5% of people go on to fulfill their dream. 5% of people go on to publish their book. That's 79% of stories that have gone untold. That's 79% of stories that have died inside of you, inside of people. That's 79% of stories that have been lost, voices silenced. For me, I believe there are far too many of us with powerful stories for us to be silenced. Thank you. So, as I said, I'm here to talk about the power of your story. We're not there yet. Hands up if you started to write a book. I heard you speaking about having some scribbles under your bed, maybe you've written a first draft. Perhaps you've committed something, you've written something. Can I just say show of hands? Thank you. Okay. You are authors. I believe once you commit your pen to paper, you are an author. You've made that commitment to tell your story, to share your story on paper. The missing link is that you just need to get it published. You need to get it out there. So just say, I am an author.
I am an author.
It feels good, right?
There it is.
Okay. Raise your hand if you've got an idea for a book that's been kicking about in your mind for a while, you've been thinking about it, you've maybe written a structure, a skeleton, as you said, then I've got an idea for a book. Okay. You are still an author. You are just an author of your untold story, or a story that is yet to be written. Is anyone familiar with the motivational speaker Les Brown? Yeah. Okay, love it, love Les Brown. He says that the graveyard is the richest place. Yes. It's full of inventors that never created. It's full of business owners that never set up their businesses. It's full of services that have never been offered. It's full of messages that have never been heard. It's full of voices that were silenced. It's full of stories that haven't been written yet. And for me, that alone got me into my purpose and into, do you know what? It's not about fear and doubt and listening to these voices. It's about just getting on and doing it and connecting with your why and connecting with your audience and your message and your purpose. I believe in the power of words. So if you are, what I did forget to say is, can you just raise your hand if you are a published author? Okay, let's give these guys a round of applause. There you go. I believe in the power of words. Every spiritual teaching, almost every spiritual book talks about the power of words. Again, in my research, I researched that abracadabra is actually a Hebrew meaning, and it means I create what I speak. It also is traced back to ancient Kemetic times as well. I create what I speak. I believe that the two most powerful words in this world are I am. But what we place after those words, we literally create. So who am I? Who's this woman talking to me about the power of words and your story and why should we write a book? And why have I decided to share these pictures with you? I've decided to share these pictures with you. This is me at 4 years old. And which one am I? I can't even tell. The one on the right in this picture and obviously the one by myself. From the age of 4, I declared that I was an author. I did say that I wanted to publish books when I retired at 40. Wishful thinking. But I actually published 3 books before my 36th birthday. And there's something I absolutely love. I work with young people as well. And I absolutely love working with young people. I think there's so much we can learn from young people because it's almost like they know who they are. They haven't been taught to doubt. They haven't been taught to fear. They haven't been taught to talk to themselves negatively. That's something that we learn. So when you're young, it's almost like they know why they're here, they know what they're meant to do. They're very bold and they're not backwards and coming forwards about telling you what they're going to achieve in this life. So this is why I've got my pictures here, and I just want you to think back to when you were young. What did you dream of? Did you want to publish a book? What are you doing in order to take steps to do that? Okay, so a little bit about my journey. I published my first book, which is called Mr. Wrong, hence the song, in 2014. It's not a man-bashing book. It's a collection of stories written by women all across the world about their experiences with this infamous Mr. Wrong character. So it features sort of dating disasters, more kind of poignant and powerful stories, but furthermore to that, it's about uniting, inspiring and empowering women, offering us a space where we can talk about our journeys, talk about our stories without feeling ashamed, but also a safe space for us to self-discover. I found that there are a lot of relationship books out there that tell you, can any women relate to what I'm saying? Books that tell you how to be, what to say, how to dress, how to play games, how to act, how to speak, but nothing that told you how to look within, nothing that told you how to love yourself, nothing that told you how to accept, take accountability for the choices that we make. So this is all about a journey within, because I believe that if you keep on attracting the same sort of circumstance, the same sort of man, the same sort of situation into your life, the journey needs to go within. So I created this book and I set up a blog and I asked people, is it just me? Because I had to put my hand up. I come from very strict West Indian mother, family, and you don't talk your business, you don't talk about your relationships, you just move on, you get on, you don't talk about, you don't air your dirty laundry. So for me to put my hand up and say, look, I'm all right now, by the way. I have experienced a decade of dating disasters, and I want to take accountability for that. I want to look at my part in that, and I want to look at why. Not about blaming and shaming, it's about looking at our choices and our decisions. So I connected with women all around the world and put this book out here. And I had women from America, Canada, the UK, all over the world, Australia, send in their stories, and I really wanted to honour those stories. It also has success stories in there as well, and stories from men too. I also have another book called Mr. Wrong. It's a workbook, 7 Shades of Love, which is a collection of poems. And another book, I run a workshop called 7 Steps to Creating the Greatest Version of You. I was just talking to the lovely Aisha, and I realised it's a very long name for a power workshop. But that's part of what I do. But in terms of getting publishing, this is the story. Oh, sorry, I forgot to say that on the day we published, Mr. Wrong actually became a bestseller in 3 different categories, beating, I don't want to name the, let's stick with one, The Joy of, the other one was called The Rules, and it also beat Steve Harvey's Think Like a Man, Act Like a Lady. But thank you. If I didn't believe in myself and my story, this never would have happened. If I didn't believe in my why, if I didn't believe in my purpose, if I didn't believe in stepping into your purpose, it would never have happened. But the story is this. I did everything textbook, first of all. It took 2 years from writing to actually getting published and to get into #1. So my story is this. I read all the books on publishing. I think the one was called Harry Bingham, Getting Published. It said, #1, write a query letter. I wrote a query letter, textbook, to agents, sent it off to about 100 agents, waited to hear back. While I was doing that, I waited. I stopped writing. I waited, and I waited, and I waited, and I waited, and I waited. 3, 4, 5, 6 months later, I got a letter back saying, yes, it was brilliant, really enjoyed this aspect. However, we are looking for authors who have already published. Okay, brilliant. So I thought, okay, let me be bolder, let me hit all the traditional publishing companies. I went to Penguin, I went to Random House, I went to all these traditional companies knowing that they don't accept unsolicited authors. So I sent off my letters, and what I did was I waited, and I waited, and I waited, and I waited. Then all the replies came back, and it was a similar sort of thing. We're looking for authors who are solicited, who've already published a book. Okay, brilliant. So what I did is just work through my thought process, and I realised that I wasn't waiting for a response. I was actually waiting for validation. I was waiting for the big companies or the big 5 to tell me, yes, that's a brilliant story, you deserve for it to be told. Yes, you've got talent, you deserve for that to go out there. Yes, we really can see so much in you, we're going to make you a bestseller and do all of these things. But I realised if I don't have faith in myself and my story, and I don't respect the people that I'm writing for enough, it's never going to happen. And I think that's something that really, this wasn't what I was going to talk about, but I'm feeling very passionate about it now. I think sometimes what we do is we put aside our gifts and our talents because we're afraid to use them because we feel that we need to be validated first. We need someone to say to us, yes, it's good. Yes, we'll give you this contract. I tell you it's good. I think it's time for us now to stop being silent and to start creating within. The one thing I believe is that if our image isn't in there, in the mainstream media, if our story isn't there, it is our responsibility to make sure it is there. So this is why I'm so passionate about what I do. I haven't told you what I do yet. This is so passionate about what I do. So, oh, I've just turned it on. Okay, so this is just evidence to show that I was a bestseller. I'm not just standing up here lying. #6 in marriage, #7 in weddings, #17 in relationships. I do want to say I have found my Mr. Right, by the way. Very supportive. Okay, from there, I was like, okay, well, I'm going to create my own promotion. I'm going to get this book out here. So if I've spent 2 years doing this and I want to honour these women's stories, I want to really just make the best of this. So at the end of the year, I'm not particularly a fan of Mail Online, sorry, but I did get quite a big... Is anyone from the Mail Online here? It's changed, but yeah, I was lucky to have a feature in there at the end of the year. I've also been in The Voice, Bang Radio, PaWaR Extra. We've got PaWaR Extra... here we go. PaWaR Extra! extra presenter in the house. Matters of Life and Health filming me. Thank you very much, Rhoda. Yeah, so I created my own press, and I've only put this up because I want to show you can do this yourself. You can. Okay, so what do we do at Conscious Dreams Publishing? As I said, I'm passionate about empowering authors, showing them how they can set up their own publishing brand and really create a life and a vision for their book. So many authors publish a book and they don't know what to do with it, so it's a bit like having a baby. You wouldn't have a baby and leave it there. You would plan for the book's life. So I work from creation to brainstorming to actually publishing to creating the marketing strategy and creating a promotion strategy, so that there's a whole life for the book. We provide bespoke publishing and coaching. Oh, it's only just working. There you go. It's a bit like getting published. I waited and I waited, then I realised I can do it. So we provide bespoke publishing and coaching services to authors. I call myself a book journey mentor. The key word in there is journey, because I believe writing is a journey. It stops and starts sometimes. But writing is a journey, but so is publishing. It's not just publish, finish, it's journey along the way. So I call myself a book journey mentor. We work with an experienced and creative team. We produce high quality books. You get marketing and PR assistance, and with one of the coaching packages you get a package called the Inside Tips to Becoming a Bestseller. There are quite a lot of tips and hacks. However, one thing I want to say with integrity, it's really important to make sure you've written a really good book. One of my favourite quotes, I've got quite a lot of favourite quotes, is either write something worth reading or do something worth writing about. Put your hands up if you're doing something worth writing about. Oh my, everyone in this house is a potential author. Please do connect with each other, because I think there's so many fantastic stories in this room. Okay, so this is just one of the covers to one of the books that we provide on the coaching courses, and it literally just shows that the publishing is a journey. So from ISBN to what you see in the back of the book, from your story to ISBN to the design to the edit. Who edits here? Put your hands up. Editing is a hard job, so I've got big respect for you. To the edit, marketing and promotion, and then eventually bestseller. Okay, so 3 reasons people publish. First one is personal satisfaction. It feels so good to publish a book. Some people just want to publish a book to pass down as a legacy. So for their children, children's children, the book will live after you. That's a great thing. A book will live after you. The story will be alive. And that's something to keep in the family, something for your friends and family. You might not necessarily want it globally distributed, but it is a really good sense of personal satisfaction. If you are a business owner, it's a great way to get recognition and credibility. It establishes you as an authority in your field. You know, you have a book, you're offering services, you've got a book about your business. It really, really does help. And the last one is to share an important message or story for the benefit of others. And these are the kind of authors that we work with. I believe success isn't just about what you accomplish in life, it's about what you inspire others to do. Can anyone just give me an idea? 3 reasons people fail to publish. Fear, yeah, brilliant. Lack of confidence.
Lack of knowledge.
Lack of knowledge, brilliant. Doubt.
Lack of commitment.
Lack of
commitment.
Yeah. 100%. Yeah, that's one of the top reasons when I coach authors. It's always I've started and I'll come back to it. And yeah, definitely lack of commitment is one. Any others?
Money. Waiting for the traditional publishing.
That's right, yeah, waiting for the traditional publishers. I'm going to go back to money in a second, that's a really important one. Definitely, and what I realised about that is that you can self-publishing industry is changing. 58, another statistic, 58% of books on the market now, e-books, are actually published through self-publishers. So it's really gaining a quite a huge reputation now, and traditional publishers are actually now setting up sister companies that also self-publish. And the other thing is, even if you do self-publish and you get yourself out there, it will just put you in the market. And these big kind of traditional companies will see what you're doing. There's been so many self-published authors who are actually picked up by traditional authors, and because they're doing so well, they're actually turning them down. So yeah, never ever wait, never wait. The other one was money, and I'm going to come back to that one because that's a very important one. Okay. So I've got lack of knowledge, lack of money, and lack of belief. So pretty much everything everyone said in the room today. Lack of knowledge. We provide authors with all the knowledge, the tools and the resources that they need in order to go through the self-publishing process so that they're confident in doing it themselves next time. Lack of money. We combat that one because what I did when I published my first book is I set up a crowdfunding campaign, and we work with authors to help them set up their own crowdfunding campaign whereby they actually raise the funds to publish and market and promote their book. When I first did it, I thought, oh my gosh, I'm asking people for money. I never ask anyone for anything. That's changed. That's a belief system that I've changed. But I never, at that stage, I never asked anyone for anything. I'm like, I can't ask people for money. That's the worst thing you can do. But you're not actually doing that. You're asking people to invest in your dream, and it's not just your dream. It's a dream that can actually greatly benefit others. And you're not just giving it away. You're actually exchanging it for perks. So I said, every single person that donates will get a copy of the book, they'll get a dedication and lots of other exchanges and gifts. So I felt that it was more pay it forward rather than just getting free money. So this is what we help authors do to raise finances. And I actually raised £1,100 in 6 weeks. So that was good. Lack of belief, we spoke about that earlier. Like I said, I believe I am are the two most powerful words in the world, because what we place after those two words will determine what reality we create. And if we're speaking negatively to ourselves, unfortunately it will then dictate where we go. You cannot climb the ladder of success just in a costume of failure. I like that one. As Violet said again, dress up with confidence. Even if you don't feel confident, just go for it. Just put that belief system in your head. Okay, so I work with a professional team, they're global, so I work with editors. I'm the book journey mentor. We have a lovely lady called Katia, she does all the inside, the typesetting, the interior, the chapter headings, all of that stuff. And then my fantastic team down there, who do all the cover designs and animation. Here are two of my mentees. We have Sienna Bangora, she's an amazing poet. She actually published her book in May this year and became #1 on the bestseller list of women's poetry. Very proud of her. Janine with her book Everything, she was in #3, 4 and 5 in the category of Christian fiction on the day it published as well. This is my partner Dene, he couldn't be here today, but he's very supportive. His book is called The Path to Financial Peace, and he actually told me, you must tell the people this. You must tell them. Okay. So he was born half blind and dyslexic. He was told by everybody, unfortunately his family, friends, and influencers, teachers, said that you're going to end up working in the grocery store. People speaking over your life again. Nobody has the right to speak over your life, you speak into your life. A bit passionate about this there. Yes. But he was told that. What did he do? He published a book, not through me, but he did publish, but I haven't met him yet. He published a book and it launched in April. And I helped him with the launch, I helped him with the promotion strategy, and he also got the bestseller list on Amazon, and he beat, let me remember, a book by Tony Robbins, a book by Oprah, and what was the other one? Dale Carnegie's, don't know this thing. That's the one, yeah, How to Win Friends and Influence People. I'd be very annoyed if I forgot that. But yeah, he was born half blind and he was born dyslexic. There is not one typo in those books, and trust me, I'm a proofreader and I look hard. And it is written flawlessly, and it's all about how to manage your finances better, and it's really, really helped me, mainly because he pays for everything. Not really. No, it's really, really helped me. No, it doesn't. It really, really helps me to, change my money mindset. So it's a brilliant book, and all of the books are out there, including that one. Okay, so 5 tips, because I know we're running short on time, is know your why. So I spoke to you at the beginning about why I wrote Mr. Wrong. It's not to man bash at all. It's about, as women, feeling empowered, taking control of our stories, saying, hey, this happened as a result of a choice that I made, but I'm strong enough and big enough to make a different choice. So that was my why. I wanted to unite, inspire and empower women. through the sharing of our stories. Create a clear vision, so don't sort of just do it as you go along. Map it out, visualise. What do you want the book cover to look like? Who do you want to reach? Who's your target audience? Okay, this one's really important. I think it's important in anything that you do, whether it's whatever it is, not just writing a book, business, anything. Friendships. Align yourself with opportunities that are in alignment with your why, vision and purpose. What do I mean by that? I was approached, so I can only give it through an example. I was approached by a well-known women's magazine, and they heard of Mr. Wrong, hadn't read it at all, so didn't really know what it was about. And they said, "Oh, we'd really like to hear your story. What we'd like is to get pictures of you with various exes." I don't have those pictures anymore. Who has them? Delete, move on, you know, even if you're friends. What we'd like is like lots of pictures of you and your exes. Don't worry, we'll pixelate their faces out, and we want you to tell all the stories about them. That's not what I'm about, because I love every single person that's come into my life, whether they've done me wrong or whatever the adversity and lessons be, because there's a lesson in everything. And I wish them well, and I want to say thank you, because I've got a book. No, thank you, because I've learned so much and become stronger and wiser through my experiences, not broken. But I would never wish them badly. That's not something that's in alignment with my morals, my values, or my purpose. So just when you know what your why is, you know when to say no. Not every opportunity is golden. Establish key relationships. The most important people you need to establish relationships with are the readers. Lastly, be consistent. Okay, I'm not going to do 10 ways a book can leverage your business. Okay, I want to end on this quote. You are powerful people. We're here for a purpose. If you have a story, don't be that 79% of stories untold. Don't be the 79% of voices that have gone unheard. Don't be that rich person in the graveyard with an amazing story buried underneath there. So I want to finish on this quote. Our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. It's our light, not our darkness, that most frightens us. So I want to ask you today, if you have a story, are you ready? Just to finish off, I want to offer every single person in the room, if you're interested in writing a book, free 30-minute consultation. I'm going to be there with my books and just, we can have a chat. I'm happy to do that, because I really do want to help empower authors to get their stories out there, because your stories are powerful. I've been Daniella Blecher. Thank you very much.